Trigger warning. This video contains occasional rants, unfiltered criticism of herd mentality, superficial culture, and data-backed evidence of declining critical thinking. If you're emotionally invested in hustle porn, unproven business hacks, or the illusion that all viral advice is good advice, you might want to tap out now. For everyone else, let's get uncomfortable.
Ever noticed? It's always the easy 5-step hacks and quick fixes that go viral. Yeah, it turns out we've got the attention span of a goldfish and a cult of how over why. And that, my friend, is where the real problem starts.
Unbound mind.
Let's be honest, when nobody's paying attention anymore, bullshit gets loud, real loud, even if it's clueless. We start following the loudest voice, not the smartest one. That's how you get people selling 7-figure strategies while barely being able to count past 10. Not kidding. A quarter of adults in rich countries and over a third in the US can't even evaluate a basic statement using math. Falling PISA scores, rising reports of cognitive difficulties, struggles with basic numeracy and literacy. Welcome to the new reality of questionable intelligence. Not because we're biologically broken, but because we're giving away our will and capacity to use our brains. We outsource our ability to reason, focus, and solve problems to a never-ending scroll. We give up reasoning for superficial, often mediocre advice. No wonder businesses are ingesting best practices like zombies. As a result, a society hooked on superficiality and businesses clinging to quick surface fixes like gospel. Mediocrity spreads faster than the flu, and unless you're wearing a mental mask, you will catch it. Speaking of trash advice.
This video is brought to you by Copium, for when your favorite guru's foolproof system inevitably explodes. Code THINK for yourself for 10% off your cope.
Today, we are dissecting how superficiality culture, herd mentality, and our own brains team up to ruin good decisions. Buckle up.
Coming up next.
Mediocrity isn't an accident. It's what happens when cognitive decline meets viral content. Ever notice how businesses just copy each other? Same homepage, same tactics, same funnel templates, same trendy color palette. How is it even possible? No one asks if it even makes sense for them or their customers. We adopt conventional wisdom even when it's flawed. We never question. Instead, we choose external validation even if it hurts the business. It's like showing up to a concert you can't stand just because it's trendy. You hate the music, but hey, your mates are there, the influencer said it's vibe, and now you're fake smiling like it was the best night of your life. Social proof? Hey, business isn't any different. We copy what works for someone else and expect it to magically work for us. Never mind that we've got a completely different audience, offer, or brain. Just because the world's obsessed with Taylor Swift doesn't mean it's the right tune for your business. And a side note, why is she actually considered to be good anyway? From the moment you start a business, you are hit with a tidal wave of best practices, aka must-dos, to succeed. SEO this, funnel that, post daily, hustle harder. Don't forget a CTA. It's like it really matters. It's overwhelming. And because everyone's doing it, you assume it must be right. So you follow the crowd until you realize you are sprinting full speed on the treadmill, going nowhere. And you know what? Most of us never ask why. Not in business, not in life. We've been trained to chase validation, not truth. School reward the right answer, not the best question. Companies reward execution, not deep thinking. Society rewards fitting in, not standing out. So, of course, if your environment teaches you that certainty equals competence, then questioning your own thinking feels like self-sabotage. This is why so many business owners default to tactics over strategy. Tactics give immediate, measurable results, while strategy requires patience and, God forbids, thinking. You question assumption because you value depth. Most people don't, because they were never rewarded for it. But hey, if you love wasting time on trends that don't work, ignore everything I've just said. For everyone else, let's talk about why we fall for this.
The Pottery Cave.
Nestled beneath a mountain lay a village of potters, renowned artisans who crafted intricate pieces deep inside a cave. Lit only by torches, they lived and worked in isolation, proud of their creations and content with their unchanging world.
Why leave? They'd ask. This is all we've ever known.
One day, a traveler stumbled upon their cave, observing their work. While impressed by the skill, he noticed the uniformity and the pervasive darkness.
This is good, he remarked gently, holding up a pot. But have you ever thought about stepping outside? The potters laughed. What's out there that we lack?
A world of color, texture, and inspiration beyond your imagining.
The traveler replied. It could elevate your craft.
Intrigued, a young artisan followed him. Emerging from the cave, he was overwhelmed by sunlight, then captivated by the vibrant landscape. Trees, rivers, a sky that looks like a painting. Returning to the cave, he excitedly described the beauty he'd witnessed.
But instead of curiosity, the other potters reacted defensively. Are you saying our work is worthless? Are you calling us failures? No, he responded. I'm saying we've only scratched the surface. We can create something even greater. Unbound Mind.
You know, when I was writing the script, I kind of felt sorry for our brains. There are so many things they have to fight through to protect us from conformity. Today, like that young artisan, we will only scratch the surface. The world of understanding is fascinatingly challenging, and if it rocks your boat, you can find more information on this channel or in my newsletter in the making, in exchange for taking the first step towards strategy mindset.
Superficiality culture.
The first tensions between depth and superficiality traces back to Plato. And yet, Nietzsche thought that Greeks were superficial out of profundity, as a creative veil over life suffering, poetic. If Greeks were superficial, I wonder what would Nietzsche say had he come across TikTok reels, LinkedIn endless clapping, and OnlyFans bursting creativity, not going to demonstrate. He'd probably lose it. Conspicuous consumption, industrialization, and mass culture. Consumerism, materialism, and cultural narcissism that progressed from yuppies to our self-obsession. It's like us ranging never stops. Now we've got the attention economy. It's the Baba Yaga of superficiality. Attention economy is all about content that is immediately grabbing, visually appealing, emotionally provocative, and quickly implementable. Stuff that is easy to digest and even easier to forget. Content hooks, title clickbaits, inadequate facial expressions on YouTube thumbnails, endless how-tos, and the cherry on the cake. 3 easy steps to get rich, lose weight, find a partner, fill in the blank, and whatever comes to mind, and you won't be wrong. And what does all this fast content actually do to us? In life, more stress, more anxiety, more insecurity, depression, broken relationship, debt goes up, authenticity down, cognitive abilities vanished like never existed. Ignorant activism is on the rise, while everyone's still pretending they're living their best lives. In business, all style, no substance. Shallow innovation, lazy hiring, surface-level reviews, short-term gains, quick fixes, image management, burnout, disengagement. And here is the data. Time is wasted, strategies collapsed, and efficiency reduced. Managers who chase short-term wins, they bleed talent and destroy process quality. Superficiality is costing us big time. And now, the irony of all ironies. Honestly, I love it. We turn to superficiality, listen carefully. We turn to superficiality to escape stress and uncertainty. It's actually called superficial coping, like toxic positivity, social media, performative work. As the result, we are gaining more stress, anxiety, and depression by failing to address root causes, creating a vicious cycle. Cognitive therapists, especially in CBT, use mindfulness and confronting uncomfortable truth to break this cycle, forcing engagement with reality. Basically, to recover, we need to do the exact opposite of what we're trying so hard to escape. Makes zero sense, right? Anyway, if you want to go deeper into escapism and avoidance, check out the emotional comfort and cognitive ease videos on this channel. Superficiality on its own is annoying, sure, but pair it with herd mentality, social proof, and cultural conditioning, and boom, you've got the 4 horsemen of dumb decisions. Mark Twain had it right.
Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect.
So here's how it happens.
Herd mentality, social proof, and social conditioning.
You grow up in a system that trains you, quietly and persistently, to accept whatever the group believes. You internalize it. It becomes your normal herd standards of behavior that we irrationally believe we should follow. Pay attention to the words irrationally believe and should. These are crucial in conditioning. We don't question, we don't rock the boat. We do what they do. Who's they? Everyone. Our mates, our parents, our managers, the people we don't know but follow on LinkedIn. We assume that this is how it is. And we aren't the only ones. And this is where it gets disturbing. Asch Experiments, the guy was a pioneer in the field of social psychology, showed that 75% of people will give a wrong answer they know is wrong just to fit with the crowd. Now imagine starting a business from that conditioning. You only do if your inner programming says, yes, this is okay. And when things inevitably go to hell, and they eventually will, you don't stop and think. No to root cause analysis, no to brainstorming possible solution, no to issue mitigation scenarios, no to switching on critical thinking. Still relevant to those 30-50% according to research hasn't lost this ability yet? Nope. You quick fix it, like pretty much everyone else does, in line with herd norms. And where do we go when we need a solution? Social proof. Quick search for top video, audio, or written advice. We assume popularity equals quality. We ignore our judgment and follow the choices of others, assuming they know better. But in reality, it's often just a reflection of common knowledge or borrowed ideas recycled from the same influencers, podcasters, and content hubs. And if you do manage to raise an eyebrow at this herd, don't worry. They'll throw a shiny quote at you from someone with 100,000 followers. That should silence your doubts, right? Well, if they all say the same thing, it must be right? Not really. Just herd mentality and social proof, our need for certainty, safety, belonging, or validation, playing a trick on you. Most experts you are following, they are shaped by the same superficial culture. So, guess what kind of advice they're giving you? Yep. Superficial problems, superficial solutions, superficial results. Brilliant. Everybody wins. Or not. First, the more we consume low-effort content, the worse our focus gets, as per the Financial Times data. The worse our focus, the more we crave quick fixes, and down the drain we go. Second, even if the advice sounds solid, the moment it overrides your own thinking, red flag. You've just outsourced your brain. Here is what the data says. Performance and innovation are down. Productivity drops. Strategic moves and investments fail. Herd thinking looks safe, but it's quietly expensive and it's bloody boring.
Unbound mind.
Conditioning, social proof, herd mentality, yeah, they're big. But they're not the whole circus. Your brain's also dealing with the bandwagon effect, authority bias, confirmation bias, hello effect. Basically, your brain is under attack from a full-on psychological rave 24/7.
Psychological rave intro for curious.
Bandwagon effect.
Everyone's doing it, so it must be right, said every lemming ever.
Authority bias.
Because a guy in a Lamborghini said it, so it must be true, and only $4,997 to find out how.
Confirmation bias.
Only listening to facts that already agree with your brilliant opinion.
Halo effect.
Hot, popular, and verified, clearly qualified to give life advice.
Curious what else messes with your decision making? What can I say? Subscribe to this channel. JFK once said,
"Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth."
and yet, here we are, locked up and calling it best practice. This isn't theory, it's happening every day. Conformity kills your edge. It flattens individuality, creativity, originality, innovation, strategy, critical thinking. Businesses burn millions on advice that has no idea who you are, what you offer, or what your audience actually wants. And still, we keep on following generic advice, not because it works, but because thinking costs time and energy, and both are in short supply. Now, I'm not naive. I know not everyone's willing to break free from conformity. For most of us, it isn't even aspirational. But if you are still watching this, I'm guessing that's not you. So, hear what I suggest. If you don't want to be part of the herd racing toward collective mediocrity, question your own thinking relentlessly. Double-check every piece of advice you get online, including mine. Audit your content diet like your health depends on it, and it does. Build environments that reward depth, not just output. Demand proof, not popularity. And remember, in a world racing toward the bottom of critical thought, the ones who think win. Or you could just go binge another 3 easy ways to grow rich reel. Your call. Still here? You officially leveled up your cognitive immune system. Go grab a snack. You earn it. Or better, drop a question or share this video with someone still stuck in the herd, if they can handle it.
Easter egg. What if I told you?
Wanna hear something wild? The first recorded market crash? Tulip bulbs. I'm serious. Back at 1637, people started flipping tulips like they were crypto. One bulb could go for more than the cost of a house. Total madness. Why? Herd mentality. Everyone saw others making money and thought, I don't want to miss out. So they piled in. And then it collapsed just like that. If it sounds familiar, yeah. History loves a sequel.